What up with it? It's Gang51E June. I just jumped off the porch with dirty glove bastards on my baby.
Shawty say she want a gangsta in the foreign. Say she wanna hold the banger when I floor it. All these diamonds on me got a wet.
All right, y'all, so we have Gang Ty with us off the porch today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good.
And I see you got the gang with you, so let us know who on the porch with you today.
Hey, man, this is my family. I got my nigga Ron. I got my nigga Kenny. I got my nigga Mo. And I got my cousin Pong.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, when I was reading your name, I was I was so confused and I pronounced it and it's like, no, it's Gang Ty. So why you got the 5 up in there like that?
Really, I got the 5 and the 1 in there because, you know, that's where I'm from, that's my street, you know what I mean? So it's like Gang Ty, and I just threw that up in there for the T and the I, the 5 and the 1 up in there just for convenience, you know what I mean? I know it'd be hard for everybody to pronounce it. I ain't gonna lie, I done thought about doing like 5-1 June, but nah, I'm gonna just keep it like that because that's how I know if you're a real fan or not, for sure.
Right. So you are from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I'm from Texas. So you know Oklahoma is like right there. And so you know y'all be having the casinos and shit like that. Tell me about it for you because you know outside of the casinos, we don't really get to see the inside of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, shit. A lot of people think Tulsa, Oklahoma is like full of like cows and horses and shit like that. And that's not what it is, you know what I mean? Just like any other place, shit, we got a hood, you know what I mean? We do got a good side. We got the trenches, you know what I mean? We got places where the fiends is at. You know, you got niggas out there gang banging. You got niggas out there selling shit. You know, you got niggas out there jacking. So it's just like every other place, you know what I mean? It ain't no country place, you know what I mean? And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not saying that our hood is worse than niggas shit, you know what I mean? But I'm saying that we got one of the worst ones, you feel what I'm saying? GLD.
And how would you describe your upbringing in Oklahoma?
Man, to be honest with you, just like everybody else's story, you know what I mean? If you black, you know what I mean, in a poverty-stricken area, you gonna grow up the same way, you feel what I'm saying? Mama on drugs type shit, living with my granny for most of my life, you know what I mean? I used to, you know, niggas playing sports and shit like that, you know, and being around niggas and just being around people that, endured with all the little, the drugs and the pistol playing with and all that shit, you know what I mean? So that's really just how my upbringing was, you know, just like any other person from from an area that's poverty stricken, you feel me?
And just taking it back to Oklahoma, I was watching your interview and you spoke about how the race massacre happened and how it's still affecting Oklahoma. Tell us about that.
So you know, we had the Black Wall Street, you feel what I'm saying? And in 1921, May 31st through June 1st, 1921, you feel what I'm saying? A black dude named Dick Rowland, you know what I mean? He was a shoe shiner. He ended up going into a building and got on an elevator with a white woman, you feel what I'm saying? And when they got to the top type shit, you know, the woman had screamed and said that he had touched her or he tried to come on her or some shit like that. He ended up getting caught by the white people and the police, you know, and they was planning on hanging him, you feel what I'm saying? So the black folks on the Wall Street, you know what I mean, and on this side of the community, had put together a little thing, you know what I mean, and was like, we about to go down there and help them, because, you know, they're trying to hang them. So when they ended up going down there and shit like that, the white folks ain't like that shit. So it started a riot, you know what I mean, and that riot turned into a massacre, because, you know, the black people wasn't as yoked as the white folks, you feel me? So the white people basically took over the community, was killing, like, you know, black kids, everybody black, you know what I mean, and throwing the bodies over the Arkansas River. It was a bridge out. It's a bridge out there. Was throwing the bodies over there, you know what I mean, and was just burying bodies in like mass graves and shit like that. And I say that to say this because like nowadays, like last year, they still finding bodies from the 1921. Yeah,
really?
From the 1921 race massacre, they still finding bodies. You feel what I'm saying? And where the Black Wall Street was and so forth, that's where all the hood, you know, that's where our hood is at, you know what I mean? That's where the trenches is at. That's where the hood stores, the liquor stores, the dope dealers, the crackheads, the fiends, you know what I mean? The gang bangers, all the sets is all on this side. where once upon a time, the black folks had money, you know what I mean? So that's why I say it affected us and it's still affecting us, because, you know, no telling where our community would be if that shit never happened, you feel me? You know what I mean?
And getting into your story, like, you were surrounded by all of that, but you managed to, you know, go the other way. Yes. So talk to us about your mindset with just like really focusing in and doing what you gotta do.
Man, to be honest with you, it's like this. You know, I was raised by my granny, you know, and it's like, coming up, my granny always just tried to tell me, like, you gonna be something, you know what I mean? If I'm here or if I'm not, you gonna be something, you know what I mean? And I didn't know what she meant by that, but as I got older and shit like that, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be something. And when I started learning from everybody else's mistakes, you know, I done seen niggas trick out their basketball scholarships, you know what I mean, because they wanted to be in the streets, you know what I mean? I done seen niggas trick out their whole life because they wanted to prove a point to somebody, you know what I mean? I done seen niggas trick out their life, lose all their businesses because they wanted to get on drugs, you know what I mean? I done just seen all that shit. So me being me, I know how I'm gonna come behind any situation, you know what I mean? We gonna box it out or we gonna shoot it out. And I know that I ain't gotta prove that to nobody, so my whole life, I always knew, like, I ain't got nothing to prove, so I'm gonna just be me. And me being me, it got me here, you feel what I'm saying? And I stayed out the way until anything got brought to me, you feel me, for sure.
And your story is so crazy. It's like, I really don't want to ask you questions about it because I want you to just tell us everything, but I'm going to pop it off with your mother. So your mom was actually on drugs during your time of growing up. How were you dealing with that as a child? Man,
to be honest with you, as a child, when my mom was on drugs, it was really normal because you were a kid, you know, that's all you know. You know, it's kind of like, if you grow up in the hood, this shit normal to you. You don't know the other side of it. You know, I didn't know what it was like to have my mama not on drugs. So the shit was normal, you feel me? So I really didn't realize that the shit wasn't normal until I got to like middle school and started seeing like, damn, this nigga mama doing this for him. This, you know, this how this shit going. This how she was supposed to be treating you, you know what I mean? Or supposed to be acting, you know what I mean? So just growing up, of course it was like, it was normal, but it was really kind of like hard too at the same time, just because, you know, just watching the woman that's, you know, a strong black woman, just watching her, you know, and, you know, excuse my language, but like, just like, you know, kind of being weak-minded, you feel me? Right. So it was just like, that was what was hard for me, you feel what I'm saying? So, and then, you know, I seen a lot of shit and I witnessed a lot of shit that I wasn't supposed to witness, you know, as a child, you feel what I'm saying? But like I say, man, that shit was what it was, you know, through it all. You know, my mama, that's my baby for sure, and she always, through it all, I can never say she wasn't no mama, you feel what I'm saying? She always made sure I was straight, and she always did what she could, and she always watched over me for sure, you know, even though I stayed with my granny, you know, she always took care of me for sure. You know what I mean? With the stuff that you went through when you were younger, did that start affecting you once you got older, or you kind of brushed it off? Nah, that shit still affects me to this day, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I be having my highs and my lows, you know, I be having certain days where I be feeling real down, you know what I mean? Certain days where I just be like, fuck, you know what I mean? And then me, like, I be, you know, I deal with like depression, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of niggas be saying they got PTSD, but a lot of niggas don't got PTSD, you feel what I'm saying? Niggas just be saying it because it's a trend to say it. Like, I really got that shit, you feel what I'm saying? Certain shit, I stay away from loud areas. That's why I be saying, like, for me to do this music shit, that shit really be crazy because I be getting anxiety and shit like that when I'm around too many people, or when I'm in a loud area, you know what I mean? Or I'm around people I don't know, or if I hear certain words, like that shit be, you know, I get anxiety, you feel what I'm saying? So it still affect me to this day. Like I said, I be having my lows, I be having days where I'm just mad for no reason, you know what I mean? And it's just like, that's how I know it affect me for sure, not me. Would you ever think about going to therapy? Man, hell no, I'm gonna be honest with you, because it's like, what I'm gonna talk to somebody else for, you know, when you just here because you getting paid. Right. You feel what I'm saying? You just getting paid, you don't care about me. You feel me? So what I'm gonna talk to you for? You can act like you understand, but you ain't from where I'm from. Man, you probably went to Yale, went to Harvard, you know what I mean? You probably had a 2-parent household, silver spoon fed, and you gonna talk to me about how I grew up in the trenches? Hell no, I'm not gonna talk to nobody about that. Talk to God, for sure. Period. For real, me. And I know also growing up that you used to cut grass in high school. Oh yeah, for sure. So it's like, You know, like I said, like anybody else, I know it's a lot of people that's watching this, anybody else, you know, that grew up in that, you know, poverty-stricken area, environment, I guarantee you done cut grass. One point in your lifetime, walking around with the lawnmower, the gas, you feel what I'm saying, with the little rag on your little, you know, on your head type shit, you know, my mama. So, yeah, of course, you know, like before I was just able to go get a job, you know what I mean? I went through there and I was just cutting grass and shit like that for all the neighbors and shit like that, and everybody in my neighborhood. And I started building a loyal clientele, you feel what I'm saying? There's like older people that just wanted me to I just walk through and they'd be like, hey, can you cut my grass? I wouldn't even have a lawnmower, you know, but yeah, for sure.
And what age were you doing that at?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I started that shit like younger. When I was with my granny, I was doing that shit like when I was like 8 type shit. I was doing it when I was like 8 on me. When my papa first was just showing me how to cut grass and shit. So I was doing like 8. Then when I got to my pops and shit like that, I started doing it again when I got a little older, for sure. You know what I mean?
And you was flipping sneakers too.
Yeah, for sure, other gang. So it's like, I used to work at Champs and shit like that on God. So like, it was a point in time where I was a sneakerhead, you know what I mean? And just was like, just had all the shoes, you know what I mean? And I was, I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't gonna self-incriminate myself on the damn thing, but niggas had a little business going where, you know, we'd get the shoes off and be able to get them bitches when they first came in and then get them bitches off on me, so yeah.
What I find interesting about you is that, for one, like when you were getting your buzz and everybody was figuring out about you, you still was working a full-time job.
Yeah, for sure.
And most people, you know, once they see their buzz, they kind of be like, man, I'm finna just focus on the music. But why did you keep your full-time job and balance your rap career? Because
it was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, none of this shit promised, you know what I mean? And none of this shit is guaranteed. And at the time when I was working at that job, it was on some shit like, man, it was so crazy. I didn't even like the job. I didn't like the job, but as soon as my music started going, it's like I started liking the job, you feel what I'm saying? And then it's like, at that moment, I'm like, well, I'm gonna just keep staying up here and just keep fucking with y'all, you know what I mean? I don't know where this music is going. Just like I said, I done seen people trick shit off, you know what I mean? I'm not saying I ain't believe in myself, but I'm saying that I done seen niggas trick shit off, you know what I mean? So I'm like, bro, I'm gonna stay at this job. I ain't even gonna lie to you, I'm gonna just stay here. And it just made me feel good. I'm like, man, I can quit this bitch any day if I want to, you know what I mean? So I was just up there just cause it was convenient at the time. And then I had a baby girl on the way and shit like that. So I'm like, shit, this rap money ain't coming quick enough, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if this rap shit don't work, make sure my baby and my girl taken care of for sure.
Did like the employees, were your, not employees, but your coworkers, were they supportive of you too?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I used to work on the truck and shit like that. I had a white coworker. His name was Daniel, you know what I mean? And there used to be days where we used to have busy days, and I would be trying to drop a video, and he'd be like, bro, I'm about to move this refrigerator in here, I'm about to move this washer up in here, bro. You sit here, bro. Just drop the video. Or I'll be like, bro, I'm trying to make a song, bro. And the whole day he'll drive and let me sit in the passenger seat and write the song, you know. And I still fuck with him to this day on me. That's my guy, G.O.D. on me.
And I did watch one clip where you said you would be doing all the marketing while you was still on the clock.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. I used to be up here sharing shit, tagging people, posting shit, reposting shit, retweeting shit, all while I was at work on me.
That's so awesome. So when did you personally started seeing the buzz for yourself when it came to the music?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I always look at it like this. When you working hard, you don't be noticing certain shit. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't be noticing shit. Just like this shit right here. Like, I probably won't even notice this shit until I just go sit down and be like, damn, I was really on Dirty Glove Bastards. You know what I mean? I was really off the porch. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't notice that shit because I be so in the moment and I be working. But like, I knew that I was progressing when I was able to bring like the whole city out. When all I did was made one post and I'm like, hey, I got a video shoot at such and such time. I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna have this here. And it's like, it was a holiday. Like everybody came, you know what I mean? And it went from a time, like my videographer right there, Spence, he had told me, I remember one time we was trying to shoot a documentary at the beginning of my career. I was walking down the street, ain't nobody wanna be in a documentary. Like we holding it up, like, hey man, you trying to get on here and say something? everybody, nah, I'm cool. Nah, it's good, I'm cool, you know what I mean? And then to see how it went to that day, all I said was I got a video shoot here, and I got everybody and their mama out there with their kids, their grandmas, their uncles, their nieces, their nephews, their great cousins, their third cousin, their second cousin. I'm like, damn, I'm really doing something, you know what I mean? So that's how I knew I was progressing, for sure.
And with the current music state of Oklahoma, how is that right now?
Man, we got some niggas down there that's hard, and we been having some niggas out there that was working, you know what I mean? Like, me, I'm just like the first nigga, you know what I mean, to just get that exposure, you know what I mean? But it's like niggas been hard back home, you know what I mean? Niggas been working, you know? And it's just crazy because I'm one of the new niggas, you know what I mean? So if niggas watching this, man, click on my shit and go to some of the recommended, you know what I mean? Because some niggas from Oklahoma is gonna pop up for sure. But there's some niggas that's hard for sure.
What do you think it'll take for people to start putting Oklahoma on their radar?
Man, to be honest, I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna take. It's gonna take somebody that's fearless, you know what I mean? That don't give a fuck what nobody else doing, you know what I mean? That don't follow all the trends that started elsewhere, you know what I mean? And to really embrace our culture and just put this shit on our back and make this shit cool. And that's how it's gonna put it on the radar. And that's what I'm doing for sure. I'm ready.
And just going back into you pursuing your music career, who was some influences for you during that time?
I ain't gonna lie to you. Off tops, Wayne, Lil Wayne, that's off tops. Tupac, for sure. Let me see. 50 Cent, that shit funny, yeah, 50 Cent. Michael Jackson, I used to love like watching Michael Jackson performances and shit like that and just seeing how people reacted off of them, you know what I mean? And I ain't gonna lie to you, like Kevin Gates, cause like just how transparent he is in his music, you know what I mean? And I learned that from that, and that's why I be so transparent in my music, yeah.
What do you feel like brings out the best in you musically?
I ain't gonna lie, life, you know, just living life, you know, like, and I react the best, I make my best music when I'm going through things or when my back is against the wall, you know what I mean? It's like, if I'm just having a great day, I'm not about to go in, I mean, I can go in there and make a banger, but I'm just saying, it's not gonna be one of them ones that I'm just like, yeah, we about to keep playing this bitch, you know what I mean? Like, when my back against the wall, if somebody done said something about me, you know, if somebody done did some weird shit, if I'm dealing with some shit, you know, that's on my mental, if I'm dealing with some pain, you know, if I'm going through something real traumatic, you know, in my life, I know that's when I'm gonna make my best music, you know what I mean, for sure. Mm-hmm.
What would you say was like one of the biggest risks that you had to take to get to where you are now?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, shit, I was just telling the homies this story. It was 2019. And I got this song called Boss Body that's out, you feel what I'm saying? And that was the one that was really like my breakthrough that like started making everybody in my region and surrounding areas fuck with me, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like I said Gangsta Nikes and a beeper in that bitch. And the thing was, I ain't had no clean G Nikes, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I ain't got no clean G Nikes, I ain't got no job, I'm sleeping on an air mattress, you know what I mean? I'm about to pawn my computer. This is what I'm making my music on. It's my computer, you know what I mean?
You was finna sell the computer that you made your music on?
Yeah, like pawn it though, so I can get that bitch back. So I'm pawning my computer. I'm like, damn, this is my only income. You know what I mean? Like I'm recording everybody else getting their money for mixing and mastering it. So I'm like, this is my only income. I'm on an air mattress. I call Mo. I'm like, bro, I'm about to make this music video and I'm about to pawn this bitch so I can go get me some crispy all white G Nikes. And he like, all right, bro. I pawn that motherfucker. I get the money from the pawn shop. I pay my videographer for the video, and I go get me some crispy all white G Nikes, you know what I mean? We end up shooting the video. I dropped that bitch. Bitch started running up, you feel what I'm saying? Then I ended up getting the job that I was at, that I was telling you about earlier. I ended up getting the job, like perfect timing, you know what I mean? But it's so crazy that video got like 3 million views now. Like that's the one that really took off, and people be watching like, "Oh, you was G, you had some crispy G nights." I'm like, "Nigga, you don't know I had to had to palm my shit to get them bitches." You feel me? But yeah, that was probably my biggest risk. You know what I mean? Like I said, I stayed in my job while I was doing the music until I was comfortable or financially stable to, you know, really just quit my job. You know what I mean? So that wasn't really no risk for me, but the other one was.
Ooh, okay, so you know how when people quit their job and stuff starts, you know, kind of tumbling down, you're like, I want to go back to my job. Did you ever have to go through that?
Man, hell no. I left that motherfucker. Man, I took the company phone. They was calling me. They like, man, June, we gonna call the police if you don't bring the company phone. Now, I blocked them. I was cool.
Not
with
blocked.
it. Yeah, I blocked him. I blocked all of them. I was cool. I ain't never just thought about going back. The only fun thing about it, the only thing I ever thought about going back for is really just them days I used to be with my coworker and shit. Like, you know, the times I used to just, I don't know, it's just a different feeling when you just really gritting for it, you know what I mean? And you ain't got, like, you don't know what's gonna happen next, you know what I mean? Everybody calling your phone. That was just one of the best times of my life, just being in that truck, you know what I mean, with my coworker, really just making music. Like, bro, I'm telling you, this one gonna be, you know what I mean? That's the only thing I never thought about for the job, though. You know what I mean?
And during your rap career, who would you say was like the most supportive of it?
Man, God. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, I done lost a lot of people that I started this shit with, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people that I came in with that quote unquote supported me, you know what I mean? I ain't here no more. And I got family and shit like that, you know what I mean? Like, my cousin right here, he used to always try to get me to sing and shit like that, you know what I mean? And little shit like that, I used to be like, bro, I'm not about to sing, you know what I mean? And then I got Mo right here. Like, every nigga on this porch, they was real supportive, but I always say that God, the only reason I say God is because he was there and he was making me do certain shit before niggas even was aware of me, you know, knowing that I could do this shit, you know what I mean? For sure. And every time my back was against the wall or I had my head down, it's like he'll do something or he'll show me something else to motivate me, you know what I mean? So for sure, he was the most supportive. God was.
And speaking of support, I did an interview like last week, and I had asked the guy if it was draining to like constantly know if like the support is real or fake and to constantly question everybody around you now that you're bigger. Do you ever have to go through that?
Nah, cause I don't let niggas in. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, everybody that's around me done been 100 and they done been there since but from the beginning. Not everybody from the beginning made it, but these niggas did. And for new niggas, I ain't fucking with new niggas. You know, I don't shake hands, I don't dap niggas up, I don't smile in niggas' faces, you know what I mean? If you ain't the gang, I ain't fucking with you, you know, so I don't have to question your loyalty, you know? And these niggas really pick up on niggas' energy before I even got to it, you know, so they really the filter for me, you know, so you straight on me.
Another thing that I find interesting about you is you don't drink or smoke.
Yeah, But that started off because I told you my mama was on drugs, you know, and my grandma was an alcoholic, you feel me? And then my grandpa, he was on cocaine, you know, he was on powder, you know what I mean? So me just being me, like I said, I learned from everybody else's mistakes. So it's like, if I know that in my genes I got a addictive personality or an addictive personality trait, why the hell would I start anything, you know what I mean? Because I'm gonna become addicted to it, and that's just what it is, you know? I might not feel like that, but shit, that's just common sense, you know what I mean? That's just science. Like, I know that if all of them was addicted to something, what makes me different? So I'm not about to start, you know, smoking tree or nothing like that and get addicted to it, because all this extra money I could be paying for something for my baby girl. I can be invested in the music, I can be invested into something else, you know what I mean? So that's the reason I don't do none of that shit. And I love being fully aware, you know?
That's the thing.
Yeah, I love being fully aware and in fully control, you know what I mean? I could spot a nigga 10 minutes before he even know, you know what I mean? So I just love that, being in full control, you know, for sure.
And when I was watching, I think it was your Say Cheese interview, I watched it and you talked about how you almost lost your mom to drugs as well.
Yeah, man, that should be a sticky subject. But I lost, it was a day that I was with my granny. I got a phone call, or my granny had got a phone call and said that she was dead on the train tracks and shit like that. So my granny just broke down crying and shit. My papa was like, man, nah, that ain't what happened. We gotta get over there and some, you know, and such and such. You know, and I'm already knowing what's going on in my mental, but it ain't just fully processed, you know what I mean? I'm like, nah, you know, when you a kid, you don't feel like nobody can leave. You would look at somebody and be like, I can't die, I'm this many. You feel what I'm saying? I can't die, I'm this many. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't be feeling like certain shit happened. So we ended up driving over there, you know what I mean? And seeing my mama like over there by the train tracks, like just out, like, you know, like limp. At that moment, I'm like, bro, I really think she gone, you know what I mean? But they ended up, we called the ambulance and shit like that, and she was just in a coma. She was in a coma for like, I forgot how long it was. I was younger, you know, time be different when you young. But I don't know how long it was, but she was in a coma and shit like that. And we actually almost lost her, you feel me, on me. So yeah, that was that's a real touchy subject. Yeah, that was a real detrimental time in my life, for sure. But like I said, that's my baby though, for sure, on me.
And I know right now this generation is like, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of drugged out. Yeah. So what is your perspective on that?
Man, I ain't even from this generation. I'm 51 years old, for sure. I'm not from this generation. I don't even look at this generation like that. Like I don't feel like I belong in it. You feel what I'm saying? I just be doing me. Like I said, I don't fuck with niggas. I feel like a lot of shit be fun and games. You know, a lot of people don't think about the future and don't think about the long run. But everything you do, you gotta pay for it. And whatever you put out into this universe, it's gonna come back on you. You know what I mean? So niggas gotta remember that when they living out here and having fun and they, you know, yeah, they just gotta remember that because that shit gonna catch up to you in the long run. This shit funny games now till your liver fucking up, you know what I mean? Until they gotta put them damn tubes in your damn belly and drain all that plasma and that damn soil out of your body and you can't do nothing, you can't go back. That shit is funny games now. But I done seen it. My granny, you know what I mean, for sure.
Right.
On me.
And just going back into your music, how were you able to find your sound that you have now?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, my brother D-Trey, I started, he was one of the niggas I started this shit with, and he used to be a singer. Like he used to sing, and I used to be like, damn, my nigga can sing, boy, I wish I could sing, you feel what I'm saying? And I used to be rapping and shit like that. And then he used to be like, bro, just try to sing, just try to sing. I started trying to sing, and I just kept on doing it, and I got better and better and better, you know what I mean? And he ended up passing away last year, you feel what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, I just got better and better and better, you know what I mean, at the singing shit. And I knew what type of beats I like, you know, my beat selection. I just knew exactly what people wanted to hear. And the singing shit was a better way for me to express my pain because you gonna feel it more if I'm on that bitch singing some shit other than saying, he said he wished to bring his grandma back. You know, he said he wished to, you know, like if I sing that bitch, you gonna feel that motherfucker, you know what I mean, for sure. So that's really how I found my shit, is because my brother, and it just was easier for me to just express myself on me.
So do you have any R&B influences?
Yeah, I fuck with like them old groups.
We talk about like Jodeci,
like for sure. Yeah, they call me Junior Jodeci. You know, that's my R&B alter ego, Junior Jodeci. But yeah, so I fuck with I fuck with Jodeci. You know what I mean, like Jagged Edge. You know, like Life Jennings and shit. You know what I mean? Shit like that, like Erykah Badu, you know, Sade, you know, like them, like they go crazy, you know what I mean? Aaliyah, Monica, Keisha Cole, you know, just all of them, like they go crazy on me. Yeah. And like I said, I was raised by my granny, you know what I mean? And my mama, you know what I mean, and shit like that. So my mom used to listen to all of them, you know what I mean? And my granny, you know, it's the Al Greens, you know what I mean? The Teddy Pendergrasses, all that, you know? So yeah, on me. So them were some big influences.
And right before the fame, what would you say were some things that you had to struggle with?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I struggle every day still with the fame, you know what I mean? And I know it's only gonna get worse because I'm just now showing niggas who I am. And at the end of the day, I know I'm gonna be super big, you know what I mean? And I believe in speaking things into existence and, you know, manifestation. So I know for sure one day I'm gonna be super big. People gonna watch this interview and they gonna be like, damn, that nigga said that, you know what I mean? But I struggle every day. Like I said, I don't fuck with people. I don't like being around people. I don't like talking to people. I don't even like looking at people, you know what I mean? And it's like real shit, and I gotta do this shit all the time. I don't like, you know, I don't like loud music, you know what I mean? I don't like I said, I don't like people in this generation. I'm gonna be honest with you, shit, I could chill with the old folks all day and just chill, you know? So it's just like, I don't, you know, that's the thing I struggle with to this day, is like dealing with the cameras, you know, niggas is from, you feel me? Niggas is from North Tulsa, you know what I mean? Niggas ain't trying to be in front of cameras all day and dap up niggas that you don't know and feel different energy. Cause I'm big on energy, and I feel like if a nigga touch my hand, he transferring energy to me, you know? So I don't even wanna dap niggas up or handshakes and hugs and all that shit, you know what I mean? But I gotta do that because I'm me, you know what I mean? I gotta look at you and yeah, bro, I fuck with you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro, I fuck with you. And I don't be lying, I be for real, you know, because I fuck with my supporters. But it's just crazy because in the real world, you know, it's like, I wouldn't even be doing a lot of this shit. You wouldn't see me in no club unless I'm getting, you know, unless I'm getting paid. You know, you wouldn't see me out in public. You wouldn't see me in no concert. Now I'm the concert. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy. I be struggling with that shit all the time. But shit, I be doing it. Oh yeah, and social media. I was never no social media person at all.
I swear, if I didn't do what I did, I would not have social media.
Social media on me, like the homies be, like he be like, bro, you gotta post something, bro. You gotta post something. Like I don't, bro, go live. I'm like, bro, should I go live? Nah, I don't, you know, I don't fuck with social media like that either. So it's all a learning experience. You know what I mean? So I'm getting better though, for sure.
When would you say you got your big break?
I'm gonna say, when y'all say big break, you know, everybody got their own definition of a big break, you know what I mean? I don't even feel like I got a big break yet, you know what I mean? Just my honest opinion. You know, I done had a lot of great opportunities and a lot of, how can I say it? A lot of big platforms, you know what I mean? And a lot of energy shifters and, you know what I mean? I don't even know how to say it. I ain't about to stutter on here, but you know, energy shifters and a lot of platforms that put me up here to another level. You know what I mean? But as far as a big break, I wouldn't even say I done got one yet. You know what I mean? And I'm not even looking for no big break. You know, I'm looking to take the steps. You know what I mean? Because anything that comes fast, it can go quicker, you know what I mean? You take the elevator up, that motherfucking rope can break. You know, you take the stairs up, you gotta walk back down them stairs, you know? So yeah, I'm just brick by brick, you know what I mean? We're gonna keep on going for sure, me.
And now that you're signed, how is that going for you?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to get used to that too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're around a lot more people.
Yeah, I'm around a lot of people. It's like, shit, I'm like me, if you can ask anybody, like I'm self-sufficient, you know what I mean? Like I'm real independent. I don't want nobody doing shit for me, and I like doing it all by myself because I'm in full control and I can't blame nobody but myself. But now, you know, with the label and shit like that, it's like, now I got somebody to do this for me. Now I got somebody to be like, all right, we about to handle this. You don't worry about nothing for making the music. You don't got, you know, but it's like I'm so hands-on creatively, you know what I mean? And with all the business shit, I be wanting to see shit, and like a lot of shit will be getting handled and shit like that. So I had to get used to that too, you know what I mean? And the business ordeals as well, because it's like, it's a lot of shit that go into this shit, like the, you know, clearances and the samples and the business,
oh,
you know.
Yeah.
Back in like, I'm telling you, like before this, you just hop on a beat, just like Boss Say Body, I hopped on that bitch with the Janet Jackson sample. Just ran that motherfucker, just put it out, you know what I mean? Can't do that today. Shit, if I was signed back then, it wouldn't be no Boss Say Body, you know what I mean? So it just look like a lot of shit like that that I didn't have to get adjusted to, for sure. And I gotta even watch out for certain brands I wear in videos, you know what I mean?
Really?
Cause they gonna blur my shit out and I don't wanna be looking goofy, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I love it though, on me. I fuck with everybody up there, for sure.
And how long were you independent for before you signed?
Man, it was so crazy. Like I said, I'm one of the new people, you know what I mean? So it's like, shit, I started in the end of 2019, and I all 2020, you know what I mean? So really like a year, you know what I mean? Really like a year on me.
A year of independence?
Yeah, just a year. Like the shit really happened quick, you know what I mean? Like, it just was coming. Every time somebody get wind of me, it's like I gain a loyal fan, you know, or a loyal supporter, you know? So it's like, that's just what it was. Just was quick, you know what I mean? So when they started coming, I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds great, you know what I mean? And
being the fact that you're coming out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is crazy.
For sure, and it's like, I'm from Tulsa, but shit, I'm really the first nigga that's rapping about the shit I rap about, you know what I mean, that made it out of Oklahoma as a whole, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you know, outside of, let's say, Carrie Underwood, Garth Brooks, the Gap Band, you know what I mean, Color Me Bad, you know, outside of them,
right.
I'm the first to come out that bitch, you know what I mean, making this music shit or just rapping, you know what I mean, rapping about the shit I rap about. So it's like Oklahoma as a whole. And I learned that when I got on the tour. It's like, I'll be like, I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'll be thinking in my head like, yeah, I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm from Oklahoma, you know what I mean? Because don't nobody even know what's down there, you feel what I'm saying? So yeah, that shit crazy.
And right now you are currently on tour with Kevin Gates. You're on the Casa tour. How is that?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, boy. I told y'all I don't like people. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, when before it, I'm like, fuck, how I'm gonna do this shit? You know what I mean? I'm looking at the mirror myself. I'm like, damn, how the hell I'm gonna do this shit? I gotta see this many people every day. When people be booking me and shit like that for little shows and walkthroughs, I'm like, cool, I'm gonna just go in there and get up out that motherfucker. But y'all telling me I gotta be in front of this many people for 60 days straight? I'm like, how the hell I'm gonna do this shit? But as soon as I got on there, it was all good energy, you know what I mean? Talking to everybody else that's on the tour, you know what I mean? Really, it became a family, you know what I mean? Kevin Gates, the whole team, they embraced me and, you know, he gave me the chain, the BWA chain, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm tied in with them, and then just, I done learned how to be a better performer, a better artist. You know, I done learned how to talk to people better, you know what I mean? Just carry myself better. Like this interview, you know what I mean? Like talking to you. Mm-hmm. Before the tour, I probably like, yeah, on me. I'm from Tulsa. You know what I mean? But now it's like I'm opening up, you know, so I done became a better artist, you know what I mean? I done learned so much and a lot of shit from Gates, you know what I mean? Just as a whole, learned a lot on me.
What's been your favorite city so far?
Man, I fuck with all the cities, man, but fuck. Let's say I ain't gonna lie, I fucked with LA, Anaheim, Tempe, oh shit, Houston. I fucked with them like super tough, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then on me, and then OKC, man, that's the home base, you know what I mean? I fuck with that the most out of all the cities that we done went through, you know what I mean? Because it reminded me so much of home. But them other places, it was just cool environments and, you know, just a different culture and a different vibe, you know? That's why I just love them places so much, for sure. Mm-hmm.
You got some crazy tour stories?
Man, I don't got no crazy tour stories. No, man. Yeah, we got some funny shit that didn't happen, and that on the tour, you know what I mean? Just a lot of funny shit. But I'll be sitting here telling y'all, I'll be taking up the whole damn interview if I told y'all.
I mean, we do kind of want to hear one though.
Man, my cameraman almost got beat up.
What?
Nah, I'm playing. No, I'm playing.
He said, cut it.
Nah, but I can't think of nothing just off tops. I remember being in a hotel and like the workers knowing knowing who I was or some shit, you know what I mean? And then they ended up seeing Gates come down the damn elevator and shit. So they like, oh, whoever Gates went up there to go see, you know what I mean? That nigga gotta be important. So, you know how the damn workers got keys and shit to the room and shit? Oh me, we up in that motherfucking sleep, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, we hearing knocking hella hard and shit like that, or just coming in, y'all need housekeeping, like damn, y'all ain't gonna give us no, you know what I mean? Yeah, they just walking into our shit like y'all need.
That is crazy.
That's invasion of privacy. You know what I mean? No, me, that is invasion of privacy.
Oh my God. Did they actually did they come in and
They came in, I'm looking, I'm like, nah, we good. You know what I mean? But I wasn't tripping because I was still kind of asleep. But now that I think about it, that is invasion of privacy.
My God.
Yeah, tripping.
Now let's talk about your breakout single that you had. I don't want to mispronounce the name. Is it Bass Body, right?
Basse.
Okay.
Basse.
What does that mean?
You got the chain? Yeah, it's the Basse. You ain't gotta take it off, brother. But it's the Basse. It's his brand. You know what I mean? Just like it's a clothing brand. You know what I mean? And it really didn't transform from a clothing brand to a lifestyle. You know what I mean? To a demeanor, the way we carry ourselves. You know what I mean? It's really like old. It kind of like a 90s vibe. You know what I mean? Like Basse, an 80s vibe type shit. You know what I mean? So when you see us, you see me with like the Dickies on. You know what I mean? Just shit like this from the old, the G Nices.
Is there like a Basquiat influence to it?
Basquiat, what's that?
Do y'all know who that is? The artist.
The artist? Oh no, I don't know. It is. Oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta ask him them questions. Shit, I can't. Yeah, on me. So but on me. So it's like a demeanor. We ain't got nothing on right now though. But if you watch the Basse Body video, you gonna see we got the clothes on and shit like that on me. But it's like a lifestyle, you know what I mean? It's a demeanor, it's the way we carry ourselves, you know what I mean?
And you did a Janet cover to that one.
The Janet Jackson sample.
Sample.
Talking about, the samples.
Sample, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying like the samples, and like I said, that shit be hard to, the clearances and shit like that. You know what I mean? That's one of the clearances. Yeah, Janet Jackson.
Oh shit, that must have been the one where you was
like. She be tripping, me.
And why did you choose to use a Janet Jackson sample?
I ain't gonna lie to you. In all honesty, when I heard, I heard the beat for like 3 months. And I'm just like, okay, this shit hard as hell, but how I'm gonna come on this bitch? You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, how I'm gonna come? I tried to sit down and write. I'm like, nah, they're not gonna feel that. So I took it back. I'm like, okay. One day I'm just sitting on the motherfucking air mattress. Then I'm like, man, I'm about to just turn this bitch on and freestyle. You know what I mean? Got on that bitch, said, pussy boy, you ain't no killer. I can't really fuck with niggas, you feel what I'm saying? And the rest just came out like word vomit on God. I was just, recorded that bitch in like 20 minutes. And shit, it was what it was. And like I said, I put on my computer and did the video, and then the shit just went. And shit was so crazy, because I was nervous to drop that video. Because I'm like, I freestyled this bitch. You know what I mean? I mean, like, I do the punch in shit, but that song, I was really like punching in like big portions of that shit. And you could tell by the way I was rapping. I'm like, boy, I punched in on this bitch, boy. I don't know if they gonna feel it. I'm usually talking about pain. I come on this bitch talking about pussy, boy, you ain't no killer. How's they gonna take this? That ended up being the song. I'm like, damn, on me. So that shit crazy though, on me.
And you also dropped your project last year. It was Preaching to the Project?
Preaching from the Project.
Preaching from the Project.
Yeah.
With that one, what would you say was the message that you wanted to get to your listeners?
Like I said at the beginning of the interview, when I was like somebody that got to embrace the culture, you know what I mean, and embrace where we from, and not give a fuck about nobody, not give a fuck about nobody else's trends and shit like that. That's really what I wanted to get across. I wanted you to listen to that project and feel like you was from 51st, you know what I mean? Like you was from North Tulsa, like by stopping at, stopping at the little restaurants, the black-owned businesses on the north, you know what I mean? I wanted you to feel like you was from there. And it's like me saying Preaching from the Projects, it's like, yeah, I'm out here preaching, I'm talking about my life, but this is anybody's life, you know what I mean, that come from a poverty-stricken environment, you know what I mean? So that's really what I was trying to get across, like, yeah, I'm from here, and this is what I'm rapping about. And it's 100 or 1 million other black little boys out here that's feeling the same shit I'm feeling, but I'm from Tulsa though, you know what I mean? So that's really was the whole message, you know what I mean, for sure.
And making this project, what would you say were the emotions that you put into it?
Shit, broke. Nah, I'm playing, I ain't gonna lie. I was really hurting. Like I talked about a lot of shit that I never spoke on before, you know what I mean? I touched a lot of subjects that was really hard for me, you know what I mean, and really touchy. Like I started talking about my mama being on drugs and talking about my granny being an alcoholic and talking about how I felt about, past relationships and how I felt about current relationships and shit like that. So like I said, I make my best music when I'm going through things, you know what I mean? So when I went through those situations, I just put it all out there, you know what I mean? So them was the areas I was hitting almost on every song, you feel me?
Now, and I know, I'm sorry, you could go.
I was like, and then I was just hella, like, then I've been hungry, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, I was a young nigga coming up, and it's like all these older niggas, you know, niggas low-key got their own little cult, you know what I mean? Niggas older than me, you know what I mean? They been knowing each other, knowing that they rapped and went to certain clubs and shit like that since, just went to certain clubs and they had their own shit. I'm the young nigga coming out this bitch like, yeah, I'm hard, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I went into it, yeah.
And going back to you speaking on like situations with like your mom and your people,
yeah.
What was their responses when they heard the songs?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like my mama, every time I talk to her, you know, she always get emotional, you feel what I'm saying? But it's like I always say, I'm like, that's my baby, you know what I mean? It's like, she know I don't mean no harm, you know what I mean? I'm just telling people my life story, you know what I mean? And by me telling people our story, that's making our life better at the current, you know what I mean, in the current moment, you know, and for the future, you know. We had it hard, you know, me and you had it hard for sure. We went through a lot of shit, you know what I mean? But me putting this out there is a sacrifice, you know what I mean? And it's gonna make our future way more bright, you know what I mean? And everybody else I talk about, I don't really be caring too much, you know what I mean? But my mama, that's my baby, like I always say, you know, I always care about her emotions. But I tell her that, I be like, man, it's just a sacrifice. My mom be meaning no harm. I'm just telling you what really went on I'm just telling them what really went on in my life, you know? And a lot of other people that went through this same stuff, you know what I mean? There's a lot of other mamas out here that went through this same shit too, and that they child ain't never spoke to them about it. But if they listen to my music, they can really see and hear how they child really feel, you feel me, on me. And
you just dropped Foreign Gangster with Kevin Gates.
Yeah.
So what is y'all's relationship like? Cause y'all on tour and everything.
Yeah. I fuck with Gates tough and he fuck with me tough on me. Like, that's my brother type shit, you know what I mean? Like, anytime I text or call, shit, he answering. Anytime he call or text, I'm answering, you know what I mean? And it's just like that. He taught me a lot of shit, dropped a bunch of game on me, you feel what I'm saying? And then told me hella stories, you know what I mean? And that's one thing about that nigga. If he fuck with you, that nigga gonna talk. Yeah, on me. But yeah, he done taught me a lot of shit, you know what I mean? And real shit, I'm real grateful for sure on me, especially just being up, you know, coming behind somebody like that, you know what I mean? And just watching how the nigga perform, you know what I mean? And shit like that. I done learned a lot. And one thing I didn't know before I came on this bitch is how good the niggas, like how good of a performer that nigga is. That nigga be up there jumping and getting on the nigga. I'm like, fuck, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm getting there for sure on me. So
I think they got a picture of him. It was like trending on Twitter and he was like in the sky. Like,
and you know who took that picture? That was my cameraman. That's him behind you. Yeah,
you behind the picture.
He took the picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on me, whole team go crazy, I'm telling you. But yeah, that nigga be jumping, boy. Nigga be doing, nigga heels be touching his ass. I'm like, damn. I'm like, boy. But yeah, that nigga, I done learned a lot from him though, man. I appreciate that nigga for sure.
What would you say was the inspiration behind that single?
Man, basically, when I first made it, I'm like, okay. Cars, trenches, you know what I mean? What is everybody else gonna relate to? You know what I mean? That's really what I was hitting on because my partner was like, hey, I bet you can't make no radio song. I'm like, well, I bet you I can. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm in that bitch, I'm like, okay, what is something that everybody like? Cars. You feel what I'm saying? Then I'm like, okay, where am I from? How can I put me in there? The trenches. You know what I'm like? So I'm like, have you ever seen the gangster in the foreign? I just kept going with that bitch. And then it got in my mind like, okay, I ain't gonna lie to you. Shit, I done came from the trenches. Like, you know, every song I make gotta have a meaning. So I'm like, okay, I done came from the trenches. You know, like I remember getting evicted from apartments. You know, now it's double G Infinity on my garments. Like, damn, this is real life. You know, I really done came from the trenches. You know what I mean? And I know it's a lot of people out there that relate to that, and it's a lot of little boys, like I always say, I always think about the kids, you know. It's a lot of kids out here that's probably in the trenches right now, and they need some motivation and some inspiration, you know what I mean? So if they watch all my old videos and see that I was in that bitch with the same pants on, with the slippers on, you know what I mean? Probably got the same white tee on, you know what I mean? And now they see me now and I got a foreign in my shit. That's just motivation at its finest, you know what I mean? And inspiration at its finest. So when I made that song, I'm like, yeah, a nigga here, you know what I mean? And I'm giving everybody hope, like always, you know what I mean? And motivation, shit like that. So that's what it was.
I really like how you're taking in consideration the youth that may be looking up to you, because a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, they don't, man. But I always say this, like, I just know, kind of like, you know, like what Tupac said, you know, thug life, the hate you give little infants, fuck everybody, you know what I mean? So when I heard that shit, I always really just thought about like, damn, you're right. Because if I seen all this shit, if when I'm younger, and not saying me, but if I'm younger and I see my parents fighting all the time, my pops holding a gun up to my mama head, you know what I mean? The police getting called all the time, you know, seeing somebody die in front of me. All that's gonna do is make me a product of my environment. So when I grow up, now I'm out here turning into a damn serial killer, you know what I mean? I'm out here just shooting at niggas for no reason, you know what I mean? The hate that you give little infants, fuck everybody, you know what I mean? So my whole thing is I wanna be to the younger generation what I needed when I was young, you know what I mean? That's all I wanna be, is the person that I needed when I was young, you know what I mean? So that's all I be thinking about. I'm thinking about the kids for sure. When I go back, yeah, my brother Wayne, like that nigga be doing like giveaways and shit like that, bikes and shit, you know, partnering with shit. And I'm like, yeah, family. Like I usually do turkeys and shit like that and school drives and shit, but nah, we about to go back and we about to take care of the kids for sure. I was just talking to my brother Ron too about the shit. He doing like the football shit, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, we about to take care of the kids and it's gonna turn into a mentorship, you know, because that's the future of our world. You feel what I'm saying? That's the future, for sure, on me. And one day I want them to look back and be like, yeah, I'm gonna do exactly what June did. If I got 16 young men and they all do the same thing I did, that's gonna turn into 32. You know what I mean? Out of 2 of them, it's gonna, you know what I mean? Like type shit. So if everybody got 2, that's gonna turn into 32. You feel what I'm saying? So if we just keep that trend going, we can do it.
So we got you on tour right now. Y'all got a show tonight, don't y'all?
Yeah,
y'all got a show tonight here in Atlanta. And we got the newly released single. So what is next for you?
Man, this my favorite part. So I got a new project, you know what I mean, that I've been working on, and it's finished. It's called This Too Shall Pass. You know what I mean? It's the first time I ever said it. I don't know when this bitch dropping. It's the first time I ever said it. But it's called This Too Shall Pass, and it's about to go crazy. I'm telling you, the world finna know me for sure. So that's what I got up ahead. Is that and a lot more videos, you know what I mean? But my project, I just wanna focus on that right now. But my project is coming, you know what I mean?
And with this new project, how would you say it differs from your last one?
Man, they gotta go listen. They gotta go listen.
You ain't giving us no tea.
They gonna have to just go listen, man. Like, you know I'm gonna come with it for sure, you know what I mean? And it's like I put a lot into it, you know what I mean? And I talked about a lot of things, you know, and I went from my last project, the way it differs is I'm talking about my life at that moment, and now I'm talking about my life at this moment, and everything that didn't happen between that, you know what I mean? So that's how it differs though, for sure, on me. But I put a lot into it, talked about a lot of things, you know what I mean? And a lot of things that people wonder about me is gonna be in that project, you know what I mean, for sure. And I came with it, like always though, on me.
You say you don't know when it's gonna drop.
Nah, I don't know when it's gonna drop, but by the time you see this, I'ma know. So just go comment, or you probably gonna see on my motherfucking page when it's gonna drop, so yeah, for sure.
And before we wrap up, do you have any last words or shout outs?
Man, like I say, I just wanna shout out everybody that ever supported me, even if you don't support me no more, you know what I mean? I still love you. I want to shout out my girl. I want to shout out my baby girl, you know what I mean, my daughter. I want to shout out, you know, my brother's behind me. I want to shout out my DJ Wayne. You know what I mean? He was acting weird. He didn't want to get in the camera. I want to shout out my videographer / brother. You know what I mean? Spence. I want to shout out my photographer / brother. Take a shot. You know, I ain't gonna say his biological name because he be getting mad and shit. You know what I mean? And I just want to say, I just want to shout out to everybody that if this shit that came out months ago, that if you trying to support me now, I just fuck with you, and I just want to shout y'all out too. And I just want to say R.I.P. Blanche, and all this shit is in the name of D-Train, on my baby. You know what I mean? And it's forever 51st on my mama, G.O.D. And shout out to home base, Oklahoma, my mama, for sure. And shout out y'all, off the porch on my mama, Dirty Glove Bastard.
Shawty say she want a gangsta in a foreign. Say she wanna hold the banger when I floor it. All these diamonds on me got a wet. A young nigga made it out.